Okay, so now I'm gonna spend time working on my presentation. Um, Honestly, I feel really bored when just do that presentation. So use the another one which is about this paper. Let me show you. Okay, so here's my paper for practicing English. Yes, I'm gonna find it. Wait for a sec. Okay, so here it is. Okay, that's pretty good. But first, let me start a meeting with myself, and then I'm gonna turn on the caution to fix my mistake. Just get ready, bro. Okay, that's good. Make it smaller like this. You there? Are you okay? Hey. So that's good. I'm not gonna delete this one, so that is pretty good for now. So now this is my um, presentation for. Alright. So this is my presentation for the last year about the environment. No, it's about the global warming stuff. So this is presentation, or you can say that a speech about the curse and the reason why it is happening, and so now I'm gonna use this paper as a material for me to practice or improve my speaking skill by enhance and check my by enhance and check my pronunciation when within this paper. Okay, so let's start it. God created for us a beautiful place to live. However, by the time the beautiful place was destroyed by our actions, Albert Einstein said that look deep into nature and then you understand everything better. Our planet is in trouble pretty much everywhere you look today. You hear or see something reminding you that our planet's health is failing. If our planet was a person, it would be about time to buy the burial plot and write down the last will and testament. As as everyone knows, we throw away million tons of garbage a day. However, just 32% of them were recycled or reused. Furthermore, millions of forest areas are cut out for building factories or residential areas. And because of human activities such as burning fossil fuels, oil, gas, coal, and other emissions, those factors have extensive impact to the atmosphere and lead to global warming and pollution. Global warming will probably have influences not only on animals, plants, but also on humans in the future if we continue to destroy nature. Firstly, the effect on wildlife that is caused by global warming is habitat disruption. Habitat disruptions are often due to changes in temperature and water availability. This affects the native vegetation and animals that feed on it. Also, wildlife's life cycles are shifted because of the greenhouse effect. To illustrate, many birds have altered the timing of long-haul migratory and reproductive routines to better sign up with the warming climate. Next, global warming will probably have effects on the growth of the plants. Growth, growth, uh, have uh, have effects on the growth of plants. However, declining plant growth would destroy forests and dramatically change the habitats that are necessary for many species to survive. And if conditions get bad enough, forest, forest could produce carbon instead of removing it from the atmosphere, exacerbating the root because of climate change. Finally, greenhouse effect alters the quality and quantity of water. Drinking water, irrigation, power plants affected by erratic rainfall and increased evaporation. The rise of the rain leads to flooding more often, and human daily life will be influenced a lot. In addition, more and more diseases will appear and humans' health will be decreased. Also, the pollution has a big effect on destroying our health. For instance, thousands of Cameroon children under 5 years old contract diarrhea and cholera, two waterborne diseases that are the leading cause of death because of the water pollution. Additionally, crops, young trees, and other plants are killed by air pollution. Also, 4,000 people were killed in London in 1952 because of this pollution, and this is one of the terrible events in England. Faced with this concern, what is Canadian government in particular and also in general doing to cope with this problem? The Prime Minister Children's Studio, Justin Trudeau, announced that there will be a federal system in place in Ontario, New Brunswick, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan in 1919. 2019, households will receive a climate action incentive, which will give most families more than they pay under the new system. Funds will also be given to the provinces, cities, schools, hospitals, businesses, and indigenous communities to, for example, help them become more energy efficient and reduce emissions, helping Canadians save even more energy, more money, and improve our local economies. Also, Canadian governments are investing in Canadian companies that are on the forefront of clean technologies and are working with provinces and territories and municipalities to provide Canadians with more clean energy options. In addition to Canada, a number of other countries have invested heavily in renewable energy, including Chile, Netherlands, Ireland, and many European countries that have made significant progress in reducing their emissions. Specifically, the population of Netherlands is about 17 million, however, they manufacture 22 million bicycles to combat global warming and pollution. Chile became the first South America country to enact a total ban on the commercial use of plastic bags. In Ireland, the sale of cars using fossil fuels is to be banned by 2030. Each government of each country is putting an abundance of effort in these problems so that can we, the average citizen, do to avoid the environment. Firstly, you can use energy wisely. Maybe you don't know, Canada is the top per capita energy consumer in the world, in the world. By becoming more energy efficient, you not only pollute less but save money too. And second one is green your and second one is green your commute. You can do that by taking public transit, ride by or advocate for bike lanes in your community, etc. Third, you can focus on life's simple pleasures, spending time in nature, being with loved one, making a difference to others, provides more purpose, belonging, and happiness than buying and consuming. Sharing, making, fixing, upcycling, repurposing, and composting are all good places to start. And you know what? There are lots of groups in Canada such as Green Plains, Living Also Society, David Suzuki Foundation, and Green Party of Canada. And lots more exist in Canada, which is trying to save life in particular and earth in general. They propagate and mobilize people with short slogans like caring, caring for earth is not a hippie thing. It is it is a hippie hip caring for earth is not a hip thing. It is a survival thing. Caring for earth, caring for earth is not a hippie thing. It is a survival thing. Our environment is life, pollution is death. Furthermore, they do charity works which relate to the environment, such as planting trees, scavenging, etc., with aim of achieving their goals. Okay, so after the paper, which is about my presentation for last year. Uh, about my presentation for last year, I feel like I have more confidence when I do this presentation, and I can think that that I've improved myself much more than the past. And when you make a comparison between the first time when I started and for now, now I can pronounce correct. Now I can pronounce correctly with the words that it is easy to do it, but I cannot make it correct at the first time. So I think that I've tried a lot to improve this one, to improve my skill, to grow, to upgrade, to upgrade my skills, and I feel really proud of myself that I can keep this habit for every day. And now I think that it's just 11, so I'm gonna spend time working with my presentation. My presentation is not something that is terrible, it's just some normal thing. So I'm gonna short to here. Then I'm gonna go, where is it? Just for double check. Yeah, free without focus persistence or some hazard harm reduction such as using substance to also under refreshment. Okay. This one, the assignments, okay, nothing. So now I'm gonna go to here. This email about my group work. I'm gonna open it in here. And I'm gonna turn on this one, turn on it, turn on it. So I'll turn on this one. And so this is pretty good for now. And I'm gonna make it smaller like this. Is that perfect? I'm gonna look like this, so just make one bigger for me. Alright, that's good now. Okay, so let's do it. So hey guys, my name is Quar, and today my group will do about the Bolshevik Revolution. What is the Bolshevik Revolution? The Russian Revolution of 1917 was one of the most explosive political events of the 20th century. The violent revolution marked the end of the Romanov dynasty and centuries of Russian imperial rule. During the Russian Revolution, the Bolsheviks, led by leftist revolutionary Vladimir Lenin, seized power and ensured the legalization of Tsarist rule. Key people: Vladimir Lenin. Vladimir Lenin, also called Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. He was born on April 22, 1870 in Simbirsk, Russia, and died on January 21st, 1924 in Gorky. He was the father of the Russian Communist Party posters and inspirer and leader of the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917, and the architect, builder, and first head of the Soviet state till 1924. He, he was the founder of the organization known as Comintern, Communist International, and the posthumous source of Leninism and the doctrine codified and controlled with Karl Marx. Works by Lenin's successors to form Marxism-Leninism, which became a communist world which became a communist worldview, which became a communist worldview, which became a communist worldview, which became a communist worldview. Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin, renamed Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin, renamed Georgian Anatol Garsevich, was born on December 18, 1878 in Gori in Georgia, Russian Empire, and died on March 5, 1953 in Moscow, Russia, USSR. He was the Secretary General of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union from 1922 to 1953 and Premier of the Soviet states from 1941 to 1953. He dictatorially ruled the Soviet Union for a quarter of a century and transformed it into a major world power. Leon Trotsky. Lev Davidovich Bronstein Leon Trotsky was born November 7, 1879 and died August 21, 1940. Leon Trotsky was a Russian revolutionary political terrorist and politician. Ideologically a communist, he developed a variant of Marxism known as Trotskyism. Trotsky joined the Bolshevik Party a few weeks before the October Revolution and became one of the leaders of the party. Once in government, Trotsky initially held the post of the Commissioner for Foreign Affairs and was involved in the Brest-Litovsk negotiations with Germany as Russia pulled out of World War I. Trotsky was more prominent from March 1918 to January 1925 as leader of the Red Army in the post Commissioner for Military and Naval Affairs. Trotsky was a vital leading figure in the Red Victory of the Russian Civil War. He was one of the seven members of the first Politburo after the rise of Joseph Stalin. Trotsky was removed from his positions and eventually expelled from the Soviet Union in February 1939. He spent the rest of his life in exile and was assassinated in Mexico City by a Soviet NKVD agent. The Korea Tragedy on May 30, 1996, a assembly in Moscow occurs during festivities following Nicholas II's coronation. As crowds worried that the supplies of free souvenirs would run out, rushed to the store to get them. This resulted in the death of over 1,300 people. 1905 Revolution in Bloody Sunday. On January 22, 1905, known as Bloody Sunday, troops and police opened fire on a peaceful demonstration outside the Winter Palace and elsewhere in St. Petersburg, killing and injuring around 1,000 people. The liberal press blames Nicholas II. On October 30, 1905, Tsar Nicholas II issues the October Manifesto, promising civil liberties such as freedom of speech and an elected parliament. As a result, restrictions are implemented on the absolute power of a Russian monarch, and the de facto constitution, the fundamental laws of 1906, is issued. February Revolution. A series of public protests began in Petrograd, lasted for 8 days, and eventually resulted in abolition of the monarchy in Russia. The total number of killed and injured in clashes with police and government troops in Petrograd is estimated around 1,300 people. On March 8, 1917, on International Women's Day, demonstrators and striking workers, many of whom are women, took the streets to protest food shortages and the war. 2 days later, the strikes spread across Petrograd. On March 15, 1917, Tsar Nicholas II abdicates and removes his son from succession. The following day, Nicholas' brother, Mikhail, announces his refusal to a single term. A provisional government is formed to replace the Tsarist movement, with Prince Lvov becoming the leader. June offensive neutralized days. On July 1, 1917, Russian Minister of War Alexander Kerensky launches an offensive against Austro-Hungary forces in Galicia. Although the Russian effort is initially successful, the soldiers soon refuse to leave the trenches and fight due to low morale caused by the revolution. Soldiers community paid orders and encouraged soldiers to disobey officers. Many soldiers returned home to take part in the redistribution of land. The offensive collapsed 4 days later, and Russian troops must respond to the Austrians and Germans' counter-offensive. On July 16, 2020, the July days, a series of spontaneous armed anti-government demonstrations of industrial workers and soldiers began in Belgrade. Lvov resigns as leader of a provisional government, with Alexander Kerensky taking over and crushing the demonstrations. In the same month, the death penalty is reintroduced, and the government are granted the right to vote and pawn office. Kerensky issued the arrest of Lenin, who goes into hiding. The printing office of the Bolshevik newspaper Pravda, the headquarters of the Bolshevik Central Communist Committee, are raided, with many Bolshevik leaders are arrested. The aborted uprising results in Bolsheviks losing their control over the provisional government, signifying the end of a dual power situation. It is seen by many as a point of no return for the peaceful development of the revolution. The Kornilov Affair. On September 9, 1917, a failed coup by General Kornilov, commander of the Russian army, takes place when he orders troops towards Michigan to counter the threat of the Bolsheviks. Prime Minister Kerensky presents Kornilov's actions as an attempt widespread coup. While the affair is short-lived, it secures power for the Bolsheviks among basically working classes, workers and soldiers, and crushes the credibility of the coalition provisional government between socialists and liberals due to decades constitutional democrats, and preventing Kerensky himself being implicated in the affair. October Revolution and the Brest-Litovsk Treaty. The Bolsheviks seized control of Petrograd on November 7, 1917. The Bolsheviks take control of the Winter Palace, the last remaining holdout of the provisional government, on November 8, 1917. The decrees on land proclaiming abolition of private property and the redistribution of land amongst the peasantry, and peace proposing an immediate withdrawal of Russia from the First World War, issued by the new Bolshevik government. Subsequent workers' decrees outline measures for an 8-hour working day, minimum wage, and the running of factories. The death penalty is abolished once again on November 8, 1917. On March 3, 1918, Russia ends its participation in the First World War. Bolshevik Russia loses one-third of the old empire's population, one-third of its railway network, half of its industries, three-quarters of its supplies of iron ore, nine-tenths of its coal resources, and much of its food supplies. So this is my multimedia piece. So this is my multimedia piece. Multiple. So this is my multiple choice. So this is my multimedia piece. So this is my multimedia piece, and so that is my multimedia piece. Multiple choice. So this is my multimedia piece. 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 Multiple choice. Multimedia piece, and I'm gonna make it bigger for you to see it, because it's pretty powerful to see it. So I'm gonna move to the next line. And after I show the audience when they see this video, so I'm gonna go to the next line. Oh, and then I'm gonna say that uh, so this is the end of my video. So and here is the citation. I hope you guys like my presentation so much. And I think I can, you know, and I think that is a very good chance for me to improve my speaking skills. And I really believe that I can do it in the future. Actually, everything to enhance my speaking skill. And so it is 25 for now. So I'm gonna go to so now because of some okay, so now I'm gonna go to the Duolingo. It is a really how can I describe it? Okay, so let's turn on this on. So now I'm gonna go to Duolingo. It is a pretty famous app for learning English. Now I'm gonna click on it. So Duolingo is not a famous app. I know it is not an app that I use so much time to talk with it. So this is gonna be an app, but it is for the silence, just for the silence working. Like it's I don't have I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk too much in this app rather than the Elsa Speak. For the Elsa Speak, I can speak, a lot because it's mostly about my speaking skill and my pronunciation. But for the Duolingo, I cannot speak so much and I cannot speak too much on it because of as because of its because of its systems because of its system, so I cannot control it, but I can do the other stuff to improve it by but the first thing you have to do is I don't know, like kind of open the Elsa Speak. So it's a pretty bad experience for me. Anyway, of course it is a very bad experience that I cannot open the app for practicing pronunciation. Oh, I cannot do that. I don't know why. It should go on. So let's try with the other app. Below is okay. Yes, below is okay. Messenger. Messenger is okay. Okay, so now it's gonna be Duolingo or just Elsa Speak. Oh my god, it is pretty bad stuff for now that I cannot go straight on it. Like I have to pause for a second or some stuff like that. Okay, so I'm gonna have time for my stuff, so I'm gonna just spend a little time to talk for myself, to talk with myself. Like if the student they spend too much time with computers, with the electronic devices, so they're gonna lost themselves in the real reality. For example, if they spend too much time with chatting with friends on the social media, so they're gonna lost, so they're gonna lose their friends in the real life, and it is a sad truth for them when you know that. So now, I don't know why I cannot go to the other speak, but anyway, I'm going to join the parents to get on it. And after I finish with the with the speaking, I'm gonna spend 10 more minutes on working online, speaking by myself with in front of the screen about um, in front of the screen about uh, the speaking stuff. I don't know how to describe it. Like it is the speaking videos. No, like it is a speaking. No, like it is a it it like it is speaking video that I use. It is speaking it is a it is speaking it is a speaking video that I use. It is a speaking it is a it, it is it is a it is a speaking video that I use. It is a speaking it is a it is a speaking video that I use to practice my pronunciation and my speaking stuff. Then I'm gonna turn on the video. Then I'm gonna turn on the video, and then I'm gonna recording myself, and I'm gonna speed the some speed of the video to make sure that my pronunciation and my speed is good, as well as with as good as the native speaker. But I think that's not really that is the incense. So, but it is an insane thing to do. But I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna try every day. So now I can work with the FSP. We just put it like that. Because I think that is the end of my speaking for today. And if you guys like it, oh my god! And if what? And I hope that I can in the future can look at this video, and then he can figure out what is the mistake, and then improve myself. Okay, so it is end for now.